Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll bring tonight's City Council regular meeting to order. Is there a motion on tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
Second.
Motion made second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Chris, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. We have no presentation, so right on to consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made second. Any discussion?
I'd like to pull item B, please.
Anything else? If not, Mr. Nelson, if you take roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Suzanne, item B.
Item B, there's a correction on where page 17, where it says Urkel stated, I'll make a motion to table. It says the first sentence, it says public forum tonight, but where denied, and it should be was denied.
Okay. And I have something on the minutes too. Is that all you had, Suzanne?
Yes, I was just about to make a motion to approve, but go ahead.
Okay. You read these things 100 times and you don't notice stuff. And I just noticed it here. If you look at on the first page of our minutes, as one example, under adopt agenda, it states to the motion, the five of us said aye, and then it said Voss asked any opposed. And that's not how we're taking vote. We're taking roll call vote. And this kind of pattern is all the way through. And I thought it was this minute. It's previous minutes too. And so my only concern on it is, the votes are counted right, but it looks like, if someone read it, it looks like it was like. So I guess my own suggestion, Jack, is to make sure that they change that language.
I'll do that. That's probably just a template they put in there, but I'll make sure that's corrected and changed.
Yeah, so I mean, it's, I assume they're listening to the meeting when they're taking these minutes. And so you'd think they would know that, but I think it's just, and I think in minutes past, just, I'm not gonna worry about it, but going forward, I think that should be changed.
We'll see to it.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve item B of the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made second. Discussion. Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. On to new business, Planning Commission. Stephanie, you're gonna lead this?
Yeah, I couldn't get my mute off. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so the first agenda item tonight is a variance request for front yard setback reduction at 19976 Erskine Street Northeast. Requested action is to consider approval for the variance to allow an accessory structure to be placed in front of the home. The property is located in the rural residential zoning district. I have the location map here. The property owner would like to place the detached accessory structure 10 feet in front of the home. As you can see on the aerial here, here's the house, and this is where he'd like to place his accessory structure. City code does state that no accessory building or detached private garage can be located nearer the front lot line than the principal building. The property owner is limited on placement options for the structure. One, the septic system is over here on the north side of the home, and there's significant grade changes towards the back of the home. And then also there's existing wetlands back here too, and setbacks for FEMA floodplain and such. You guys do in your packet, attachment 3 does show this location of the proposed structure, and also the 2-foot contours and the septic location. So prior to granting the variance, there's some considerations for practical difficulties. The first one is the test of reasonableness, meaning if the landowner would like to use the property in a practical way but can't under the city code. In this case, the property owner would like the detached accessory structure and would like to access it from the existing driveway as well, so he won't even have another driveway off of Erskine Street. The existing home is set back 50 feet from the right-of-way. Code does require it to be 40 feet. Therefore, the detached accessory structure will meet that 40-foot setback from the right-of-way. So it will still meet the setback requirements even of the city code. It'll just be placed in front of the home 10 feet. The second factor is that the circumstances are unique to this property, in which they are the topography of the land, the slope and the contours, the existing wetlands and FEMA floodplain do limit the location of the structure. And then also with the septic placement, when the home was built, the septic system was located on that northern side, so the structure cannot be placed behind the home in that area as well. The third factor is that it won't alter the essential character of the neighborhood. There are homes in that area that are set back 40 feet from the right-of-way. Again, that's meets city code. This detached structure will be of architectural design that is similar to the home. It'll have the same roof pitch and overall height. So the planning commission did hold the public hearing on April 27th. There were no public comments, and there were no discussion among the commissioners either. And they did recommend approval on a 6-0 vote. There was one member absent. So at this time, planning commission does recommend the approval to the city council for the variance to place the detached accessory structure 10 feet in front of the existing home, with the commission set forth in the attached resolution. And the property owner, Mr. Schneider, is on the line if you have specific questions for him.
Okay, as Stephanie mentioned, there is a resolution in our packet regarding this variance. Is there a motion on this matter tonight?
I'll make a motion for approval of resolution 2021-26, granting a variance to allow a detached accessory structure to be placed 10 feet in front of the principal structure while maintaining a 40-foot setback to the right-of-way for the property located at 19976 Erskine Street Northeast, PIN number 24 33 23 32 0011.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made in second. Discussion. Well, pretty clear. Hearing no discussion. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. On to item 6A2.
The next item is also a request for a variance. This is for a side yard and front yard setback reduction located at 144 Laurel Street Northeast. The property is located in the R1 single family residential zoning district. It is located in the Coon Lake Beach area. The property currently does not have a garage. Here I have the aerial. Here's the home. And actually, this is Laurel Street that runs along here. So they don't have a garage. Property owner would like to construct one. But because of the location of the well and the septic system and the smaller size lot, the structure location is very limited in this area. And here's the survey. So here's Laurel. And we have the proposed location of the garage. We have the septic system is over here. And then the well is behind the structure over here. The property owner is requesting 2 variances. The first one would be to reduce the front yard setback from Laurel Street from 30 feet to 25 feet. And the second one is to reduce the side yard setback from 10 feet to 7 feet. Considerations for the variances is first a test of reasonableness, meaning the landowner would like to use the property in a practical way. City code requires an 8-foot clearance between structures. So the proposed location of the garage will place the garage approximately 12 feet from the home. This will leave room in the event a well needs to be accessed for service. So back here, there's a 12-foot gap right here. And we need to maintain that gap in case, again, the well is back here. If the well has to be serviced, there needs to be area for the cranes and trucks and such to get back here. Placing the garage 30 feet from the right of way would only leave also 3 feet separation from the foundation of the new garage and the well. A 3-foot separation needs to be maintained from the eaves of the new structure to the well. Thus, the required setback couldn't be even met if the garage was set back 30 feet from the right of way. The second factor is problem is due to circumstances unique to the property, not caused by the landowner, in which this is an existing cabin, much older cabin. There's an existing well and septic that also causes the unique circumstances on the property. And the cabin was built decades ago, and not much planning was put in place for additions or that sort of thing. So the location for the garage is very limited. Excuse me. The third factor is that it won't alter the essential character of the neighborhood. There are numerous properties within Coon Lake Beach area that are encroaching into the setbacks, and this is a lot are small, may have many of the same issues to the property. April 27th, the Planning Commission did hold the public hearing, and there were no public comments. There were minimal discussions among the commissioners, and the commissioners recommended approval on a 6-0 vote. 1 member was absent. So at this time, the commission does recommend approval to the city council for the variances to reduce the side yard setback from 10 feet to 7 feet and the front yard setback from 30 feet to 25 feet to the placement of the garage. And the property owner, Mr. Forrest, is on the line if you have specific questions for him.
Thank you, Stephanie. Again, there is a resolution on the packet regarding this matter. Is there a motion?
We'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-27. Resolution granting variances to reduce the northern side yard setback from 10 feet to 7 foot and the front yard setback from 30 feet to 25 feet for the placement of a garage for the property located at 144 Laurel Road, PIN 363323120064.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and second. Discussion.
Stephanie, I was looking at the survey, certificate of survey. There's like 3 sheds on there. Is that going to make any difference at all? I mean,
it's my understanding that some of those sheds will be taken down once the garage is built.
okay, that's why I was just kind of
And
curious.
Mr.
I was asking that. Okay.
Yeah, this is Mark Forrest. Yeah, I could barely hear you guys, unfortunately, but there we go. I fixed that. My problem. Yeah, once we get a garage, there 2 of the 3 sheds are going to disappear. We don't like them.
Okay. No, that's just my only issue. Thanks.
No, yeah, good call out. And yes, we're going to take care of that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, can you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye. And that motion passes. On item 6A3.
Now, this item is for an interim use permit for B&T Trucking located at 1311 229th Avenue Northeast. The property owner is requesting an IUP to allow an existing truck motor freight terminal to continue operation. A bit of the background on this property. There we go. B&T Trucking is an over-the-road trucking company. They've been in business approximately 20 years and has been operating in East Buffalo for 8 years. Prior to moving to the city, the business owner did submit a letter to the city regarding his intentions and made numerous calls, also asking for a certificate of occupancy for the building, which the owner did not receive calls back from staff. Staff's unsure if the CO was ever issued, as the business owner requested. That's only because prior to 2016, COs were not kept in the address files. However, we do keep those now. The family business currently employs 3 office staff and 9 drivers. It's common to have up to 10 semi-trailers on site at any given time. Typically, the trailers are loaded and they leave on the weekend. They come back in town on Wednesdays and Thursdays. The drivers will take a couple days off, and then the process starts over on the weekend. The issuance of the IUP for the business ensures compliancy for the existing use on the property. For the past 8 years, the property has remained neat and orderly. Non-compliancy hasn't been an issue. Staff is in the opinion that the current use of the property for the past 8 years has been very low profile. On April 27th, the commission did hold the public hearing. There were no public comments. The commissioners discussed how clean and organized the property is. Many of the members didn't know there was a trucking business operating from the site, and each commissioner supported the continued use of the property as the trucking business. The commission did recommend approval of the IUP on a 6-0 vote with 1 absent. So at this time, the commission recommends approval to the city council for an IUP to allow the continued use of the property as the truck motor freight terminal known as B&T Trucking with the conditions set forth in the attached resolution. And I'm not sure if the property owner is on. I didn't see his name, but.
Okay, there is a resolution in our packet with this item as well.
I'll make a motion for approving resolution 2021-28, granting an interim use permit for B&T Trucking located at 1311 229th Avenue Northeast. PIN numbers 32, 34, 23, 34, 005, and 32, 34, 23, 34, 0006.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion.
Stephanie, I just want to say thank you for working on this, to bring this business into compliance with the city and to keep them in our city.
I have a question. It puts in there that a maximum number of 15 tractor trailers can be stored there. Does the business have any issue with that at all, or have they ever had more than that? Because it looks like they're looking for more.
Yeah, they're okay with it. There is room for more. However, 10 is about their limit right now. So this will just give them a little bit leeway if they need a few more of them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think there's room in there for a lot more. I think the previous occupant had that yard almost filled up. So 15 will easily handle this location.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye. And that motion passes. Thank you, Stephanie. On to Park Commission. Jack.
Sorry about that. Item 6C1, 2022-2026 Parks Capital Improvement Plan. The Parks Commission prepares an annual capital improvement plan which updates projects, evaluates priorities, and establishes funding for these works for the coming year and for each subsequent years for a 5-year period. This plan is presented to City Council for their approval and used in preparation of the 2022 budget. Attached in your packet is the 2022-2026 Parks Capital Improvement Plan, developed from discussions at the March 9th and 13th Park Commission meetings. This plan was also discussed at our May 3rd City Council work meeting. Approval of the plans only commits the city for the projects identified for the subsequent year, which in this case is 2022. Projects beyond those years are for planning purposes and will be evaluated annually for funding prioritization for 2023. $5,000 has been included as an increase, a proposed increase to the city transfer to the Parks Capital Fund for the 2022 budget. This increase would provide a total of $95,000 for Parks Capital Improvements projects for 2022 and is subject to the City Council approval. It is anticipated that park dedication fees from developers will provide an additional $50,000 to the Parks Acquisition and Development Fund for 2022. The Parks Commission voted unanimously to recommend the attached 2022-2026 Parks Capital Improvement Plan to the City Council for their consideration of approval.
Okay, staff is requesting approval of the Parks Capital Improvement Plan.
Make a motion to approve the attached 2022 through 2026 Parks Capital Improvement Plan, which would include an increase of $5,000 to bring the total of the Parks Capital Improvement projects for 2022 to $95,000.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion made second, discussion.
Hey, I just have a question. When is that, what is it? The Anderson Park Trail going to go in? Do you know, when will it start? Because I was up there and yeah, it really needs one.
That would be next year in 2022. Currently this year, we have awarded a contract for the Baton Street Trail Extension, which goes from the southern terminus of the trail put in by Mr. Strandon for his subdivision development to 226th, and also at council's direction in our discussion at the council work meeting, we will reopen the discussion of that Yancey Street to 225th Avenue connector, which is a very short link, which would provide access then from 229th all the way to Booster Park, with the part that's going to be under construction, if we can get that going, and also the John Anderson Park link to 235th Avenue. So we're going to start be seeing several parks trails additions commenced in the following years.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to see it get done.
See, Jack, I just got a question on the parks dedication fee. That number seems kind of low. Is that just a number or?
It's just an estimate, Tim. You know, we don't know. When we estimate, we want to go on the conservative side. You know, it could be double that, but if it is, that's just our benefit.
Okay.
But for our planning purposes, and that's enough to fund our projects in the schedule for the next year and 2 years. So that's that can change.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I mean, I agree too with the little bit more focus on the trails and I think we get much more bang for a buck when we do projects like that. So any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote to this motion?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. On to department reports, community development. Stephanie again.
All right, so this one is an administrative subdivision, we call them, but it's a lot combination. Located at 194XX. It doesn't have an address yet. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Layett Street Northeast, right off of Viking Boulevard. So the property owner owns the properties. It's located on the northern end of the cul-de-sac here. So here's Viking Boulevard, here's the street, and there's a cul-de-sac up here. So she owns these lots up here. She would like to combine two of the lots, these two, to create one buildable lot. So one lot, this one up here is 1.72 acres in size, and this one down here is 0.74 acres in size. The property owner's been working with staff for approximately 5 years to prepare the properties for building. Once a septic designer and engineer began to work on this specific project, it became evident that the smaller lot down here to the south didn't have enough room for septic and able to meet city codes in terms of setbacks and FEMA regulations. Bring up the map here. So this is FEMA and the wetlands that are on the property. So there's just a small sliver of building area over here, and they were having a hard time placing a home there and septic systems and meeting setbacks and all of that. Therefore, she's requesting to combine the two lots to create the one buildable lot that will meet city code requirements. Park dedication fee will not be collected on this since the property owner is eliminating a lot rather than creating one. So at this time, council's request to consider approval of the lot combination with the conditions set forth in the attached resolution. And I know that Nina is on the phone if you have any specific questions for her.
Is there a motion tonight on this item?
I'll make a motion for approval of resolution 2021-29, approving the lot combination for PIN number 2733 2314 0014 and PIN 2733 2314 0015, East Bethel, Minnesota.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Discussion.
I have a comment, a concern. I drove by there and today, and I looked at it and it looked like there's a for sale sign. Is that the property we're talking about where there's been a bunch of trees taken down and a for sale sign by Keller Williams there? Is that what we're talking about?
Nina would have to answer that. It's my understanding they're not for sale. They plan on building their home here. Nina, can you speak to that? You may not be able to get on. I know she's on the call.
Steph, in our packet, the certificate of survey.
Yes, that's the incorrect one. I apologize for that. Here on the screen is the survey that I actually just cut today from their engineer.
Okay, so we ignore the ones in our packet.
Yes, I apologize for that.
That makes sense.
Well, my main concern is it's not whether it's for sale or not. That's not my concern. I was just wondering if that's the area I was looking at. And there was a house on this is on the right side of that street, and it's right after the last house on the street. Is that correct? Or is it further down?
It's right at the very end of the cul-de-sac.
I just wondered if I was looking at the right place, because what I saw, it looked like it was pretty low land, and because all the other houses in the area are higher. And that's the only thing that concerns me, is that it's going to be too low and she's doing all this for naught, because she won't even be able to put a septic or anything there because the land is too low. So I was wondering if anybody looked at that and if it's actually, I don't even know what the word is, been approved that you can actually put a house on that low of a land.
Yeah, actually it has. She's been working with an engineer for the last 5 years on this. And we're going through FEMA right now for map revision as well on one of the FEMA floodplains on it. So they already have areas where they can put the septic. We've already gotten all of that information. They will be bringing fill in to construct the homes. We already know that. Yeah, so this is the last part right here before they construct the home, and just to do this lot combination so she has more room for the septic in the house.
Yeah. Once they brought a septic designer in, they did soil borings, so they know exactly where the water is. So that tells you right away if they can build. And if they have came to this step, then I would trust in their septic designers and engineers that they've done the proper determinations that a house will work on these properties. So sites can sometimes be a little deceiving without soil borings.
Okay,
Stephanie, you said something about the FEMA, that this map here that they got is not an up-to-date one then of her property?
It is. They are doing a letter of fill
Okay,
to take some of the property out of the floodplain.
correct. I know FEMA's doing that now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just did it to
Yeah.
mine.
So it'll
so-
change. Okay, it'll change a little bit, not much.
Okay,
It gives them a little bit more.
Well, I mean, give her a little bit more land if they move that floodplain a little bit more, so.
Correct.
okay, any other discussion? All right, to the motion. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye,
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Item 7A2.
The last one for me. This is the Elevage Master PUD concept plan. So the first edition concept plan development agreement. On April 12th, the city council approved the plat for the first edition. On May 3rd, the council approved the development agreement for the first edition. And now the city attorney, the developer's attorney, and staff have been working together on this specific agreement, and this draft is acceptable to all parties. Each phase of the development will have a master PUD plan agreement, and following phases will have a much more detail-oriented agreement. So each agreement, you'll see specific items addressed, such as architectural design, landscaping, lighting, setbacks, trail, lot layout. This isn't an all-inclusive list, but again, this is the development agreement where you're going to see the details of what's going into the development. Each phase may have additional or less items that will be addressed on this agreement. There's not much to this phase because it really is only the quick trip site. So the next phases will see much more detail to this type of agreement. So at this time, it's recommended City Council review and consider approval of the Elevage Master PUD Concept Plan Agreement for Elevage First Edition.
And
Is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion for approval of the Elevage Master PUD Concept Plan Agreement for Elevage First Edition.
I'll second.
Motion's made in second. Discussion. Firstly, I'm a little bit confused, and I think we're mixing titles here. In a write-up, it says on May 3rd, City Council approved the development agreement for the first edition. How is this different? How is that different than what we're looking at tonight? It looks like the same title.
Mayor and council members.
council members, I can address that.
And who is this?
This is Chris Nelson. I don't know who.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I missed you there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
So the agreement before you tonight is the just an overall master agreement. It sets the structure for going forward. It's a rather basic agreement setting the structure for going forward with the subsequent phases of this development. Each individual phase of the development, and they're anticipated being up to 5, will have an individual development agreement similar to the one that the council addressed at the special meeting on May 3rd. Each phase would go through that, and that development agreement will control the individual phases. This agreement is just an agreement to the structure where the city and the developer are agreeing to how to go forward. The key parts of it being that each phase of development will require an individual development agreement, and that there'll be no construction until the development agreement and the plats for each individual phase are approved by the council. So it's the basic structure for how the parties are agreeing to go forward with the consideration of phase 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. Any other questions from council? Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Thank you, Stephanie. Item 7B, our city engineer, Craig Yoakum. Evening, Craig.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As discussed at the April 12th City Council meeting, MnDOT has additional advancement funds available at this time. Staff made an application to reserve advancement of an additional $735,545 for the Trunk Highway 65 East Service Road project. On April 26th, MnDOT approved the request. To reserve the advanced MSA funds, the council must approve attached resolution 2021-30 and authorize the city engineer to execute the municipal request to reserve advance funding. The city is not obligated to use the advance funds. This action only reserves the funds in the event that they are needed. This advancement will ensure that this project will not need to temporarily use funds from other city sources such as the Street Capital Fund. All costs for the street construction will be paid for with the MnDOT grant and the Municipal State Aid Construction Fund. With that, I'll stand for questions.
Is there a motion tonight on this resolution?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2021-30 municipal state aid street funds advance and authorize the city engineer to execute the municipal request to reserve advance funding.
Second.
Motion made and second. Discussion. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Report.
Staff report.
Jack.
The only thing I have to report is that the construction on the East Side Service Road is progressing to schedule. No unanticipated problems have been uncovered with the excavation to date. The developer was down there today and looked at some of the work, and I think they're getting ready to let their bid awards for their contract for the site preparation for Quick Trip very soon. So, so far, we've had no problems, and we'll keep our fingers crossed it continues in that direction.
Good. Good. Is that it?
That's it.
All right, on the council reports, Brian.
Last week, the finance committee met. Mike Trzewski did a very fine presentation of outlining any changes that will be coming up that will affect the budget. And it looks like we will also be able to pay off 2 of 4 of our bonds this year. So those items will be coming before council within the next month or 2. And then I'd like to thank the fire department auxiliary. On May 2nd, they did highway cleanup from, I believe, about 221st all the way up to 237th, Cooper's Corner. So that was a fine job. Because of COVID, they had missed it last year. They had to cancel, so it was twice the effort. And so I just want to say thanks for them for caring about our community and the earth itself. That's all.
Okay, thanks. Suzanne.
Okay, I had a airport commission leaders meeting, and tomorrow I have a pre-meeting to go over the meeting that's going to be this Wednesday. And they're looking for public comment and participation. So I'm probably going to put a link to it on Nextdoor and East Bethel pages. But I was wondering if there's anything that any of you council members, city members, think I should bring up to discuss.
Suzanne, how about you talk to Jack with some items that we could think about to bring up, and Jack can send out an email to all of council for any suggestions.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine to me. And for good with Jack. Yeah. I just thought this would be a good place to get it out to everybody at once. You can think about it and send me a quick email if you before Wednesday if you think of something. I guess that's all I want to bring up tonight. Thanks. That's all I have.
Tim. Tim.
Thank you, Mary. Last week I had both watersheds, Tuesday and Thursday, the Upper Rum and the Sunrise. Our biggest hurdle right now is we're looking at maybe updating the JPA for both watersheds because they're over 30 years old. But see, we'll make recommendations. It'll be up to the 4 city councils to finalize the JPA. So I just want to let you know about that. And then the fire department training today was firefighter down, and that's all I've got.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Couple things. I noticed on Viking Boulevard, the county is getting ready to do the turn lane constructions. This was related to the how the county handled the parking problems that we had last summer along Viking, and this was part of it. They're putting these turn lanes, so it looks like they're starting on Monday. So, and then Jack, do you know what the status is of looking at the revisions to the residential zoning? The specifically, you know, that part of the changes a month or so ago was tabled, and the item tonight on Laurel Road kind of fit in right into some of those changes that we're looking at. And so I was just curious of where we're at on that.
I'm not exactly sure of the status. I will check into that and give you a report back.
All right. Okay. And then lastly, at our last city council meeting, the item regarding discussion of Lever Street and trying to first understand what's going on with that matter that was tabled. And Suzanne, I believe you moved the table to allow residents to appear at public forum, which we didn't have anyone tonight. So I think it's, we bring this back to council and complete this discussion. We need to get resolution on the matter. So.
Well, doesn't it have to be on the agenda so that they can know that that's when they want to bring it up to public forum? It seems like it's backwards, that the residents call in and say, I want to be on a public forum for this. Will you put it on the agenda? Whereas if it's on the agenda, that's when they will call and ask to be put on the public forum. So I'm even confused, so I know they are.
Well, now I'm confused because I seem to recall you tabled this discussion so that they can appear at public forum at their next meeting, which is tonight.
Yes, but it wasn't put on the agenda, so they didn't think they needed to come sign up for the public forum.
Well,
That's the confusion part right there.
well, keep in mind that if it's on the agenda, it's not a discussion item at public forum. Public forum is meant to bring issues to us. It's not discussion. There's no discussion at public forum.
I understand that, but when else do our residents get to say their piece about something that's on the agenda? They were denied to come to it to discuss it when it was on the agenda before. If something's on the agenda that affects our residents, they should be able to come to the public forum the night that it's on the agenda. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense for them to come to a meeting, request to go on a public forum for something that's not on the agenda.
But I guess I'm a little confused here. I mean, council has not even had a discussion on this matter yet. Yeah. That's what we tried to have at the last meeting. Council can decide that, there's any number of things they can decide where to go next with it. But I think the item is the first to understand what's going on. I mean, it seems like you want to have the residents involved in the discussion, and I think we all do.
Right. I want them to be able to come and say their piece to the council, but I was, and they are under the impression that it had to be on the agenda for them to bring it up at the public forum. So I guess we're all wrong, which is fine. So, and I'm sure they're watching this, or they will, so they can know that they can request to come to the next meeting at a public forum, and then it can go on the next agenda. Is that how it's going to work?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Jack.
I did have one resident that called in late this afternoon and wanted to know if they were going to be on the public forum. And I told them that, we had to have that in by 10 o'clock on Monday because we had to set the schedule, send the invites out. But if they wanted to be on the public forum, that I would schedule that for them for the May 24th meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in general, to speak at the public forum, you can do that anytime about any subject. It doesn't have to be about a subject that's on the agenda. It can be any subject, so they could have came and spoke tonight, or they can sign up before the next meeting on the 24th. So something doesn't have to be on the agenda for them to come talk to council and give their opinion.
Yeah,
Chris,
Mr. Mayor and council members, I just wanted to say, I know there's a number of things that are potential resolutions for Lever Street pending before the council for that discussion. I did just want to say, if vacation were going to be considered, vacation of the public easement or right of way, that's something that would require a public hearing anyway. So there would be that opportunity under vacation that would be a statutory requirement. So I just wanted to point that out.
What do you mean by vacation? I'm sorry.
If the city were going to give up any part of a public easement, that requires a public hearing by statute. So if the council discussion led to the council wanting to consider vacation, a public hearing would be required. And at that point, everyone would receive notice of that who's in the general neighborhood, and a public hearing would be had. So they'd have the opportunity to comment on that.
So are we okay with having this on the agenda, back on the agenda for next meeting?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. So Jack, can you put that back or placed on the agenda for our next regular city council meeting?
Yes.
All right. And that is all I have for tonight.
Steve, can I just add on to your 22 there? I see they've got the no parking signs up now too on the one side of 22. So, you know, guys that are coming up fishing, you better watch where you park this weekend. They put up new no parking signs on both sides of the road now.
Oh, that must have happened today. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they've got new signs up. So I just want to let people know about that.
Okay. And they already previously put signs at the county landing, at the county park as well. So, all right. If there's nothing else, I take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second,
Motion made in second. Mr. Nelson, could take roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. And our meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.